Remember, the 9th of November. Oh.
It rained a lot yesterday.
It did, didn't it? It's rained a lot over the last few days. Absolutely.
And today it's
belting
beautiful.
it down.
Beautiful.
It is perfect heat. Autumn day, isn't it?
And you know what? It seems to rain on Saturdays and then be sunny on Sundays.
It does, and it rained on Thursday as well. Absolutely epic storm
Yeah.
as I was heading into Palma.
It was traffic stopping.
It was proper traffic stopping. It was these are the autumn storms that show up pretty much
every year.
Every year, but also pretty much randomly, don't they? You can get one area gets absolutely flattened, another bit is bone dry 3 kilometres down the road.
Yeah,
don't tend to last very long, but you don't want to get caught in them.
Everyone's on Facebook complaining they haven't had any rain.
Yeah, I was out.
There's somebody else is like, bailing out their office or something.
I was out a couple of weeks ago and there was a proper enormous, like when your windscreen wipers are on double speed and you still can't see where you're going.
Yeah.
That kind of best slow down.
Yeah, in that situation, just stop driving.
There's 2 tunnels in between our house and our office, and they were both absolutely full of mopeds. It's like mopeds from everywhere stopped inside the tunnels.
Really?
They parked up inside the tunnels. Not going outside.
That makes sense, though. Shelter.
Kind of, yeah, it's like impromptu motorcycle club. All these people, seeking refuge. Anyway, it could not be nicer today. There's hardly any wind. There's just enough wind to speed me up on my bicycle ride on the way to work. So.
We're going to go tonight to see the guys that I interviewed who were going to be on the show after this.
Yes, coming up a bit later on, we have an interview for you with something it's sadly quite rare here, which is travelling stand-up comedians in English. I think there's quite a thriving scene of stand-up in Spanish in Palma. Obviously, we're
but
Spain.
There's not only these guys coming this month. It's Abdullah and Xavi, who are from Turkey and Chile, and they actually perform and live in Madrid.
And the name of their show is
We're Not From Here,
obviously,
which is really good.
Yeah.
But also later on in the month, there's another comedian coming called Sergi Polo or Pollo, but I think Polo.
Get that right.
Because there's one L. I know, because there's only one L in his name. But I've been trying to get hold of him to do an interview, but he's so far ghosting me big time. Not even ghosting me, ignoring me.
Perhaps he's busy.
Maybe so.
Being hilarious somewhere.
But he's on in the auditorium. And these chaps tonight are at this bar called Montego Bay. And they've sold out the show twice.
Okay.
So they put a show on at 9, that sold out. They put on another show at 6, that sold out.
There's two shows on the same evening.
Yeah,
Blimey, that's, working hard.
when you're ready to rock, you can do it twice.
It's a lovely thing. It's a great thing, isn't it? I think they're doing their best to develop a scene, aren't they? They actually perform. Well, actually, do you know what? Shall I shut up about that? You can do that in the interview later.
Should we just do the interview?
Let's go straight to the interview then. No, with Xavi and
Abdullah.
Here they are.
Today we are joined by comedians Xavi Jallois and Abdullah Ozturk. They're fresh from a sold-out national tour and they're coming to Mallorca with their show We Are Not From Here, a performance that looks at immigration, culture shock, and the realities of making a life in Spain, which a lot of us know about, all through comedy. Xavi is originally from Chile, Abdullah is from Turkey, and together they've performed across Spain, developing a style that's sharp, quick, and rooted in lived experience. So welcome, chaps. Thanks very much for joining us today on the show.
Oh, thank you for having us. I'm very happy.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you. So, well, we're doing a threesome here. So one of you is going to have to go first, and then the second go second. And I want to know a little bit about your background, so you can decide who speaks first. Who wants to go?
Abdullah can go first. That's
Okay. I was born and raised in Turkey, and I lived there till I was 23, and then I moved to Madrid to study, to do my master's in economics and finance, and it was like completely a random thing because I applied to a lot of schools, and Spain was the only country that gave me a scholarship, full scholarship. So I decided to move to Spain, and study economics. That was the idea.
Xavi?
well. I was born and raised in Chile, and I moved here 6 years ago to Spain. I'm half French. That's why my last name is Jallois. And I came here to do film school, and I've been doing comedy for 4 years. And that's pretty much it. I like it here in Spain, but I don't feel like I'm from here, So
No. So, Xavi, already had performance like in your mind, but Abdullah, you came from an economics background. What pushed you
Yes.
into comedy?
Yes, it has nothing to do with the performance actually. But like when I was in college, I started taking some film classes, like script writing courses, and like I started developing an interest in like writing, like I don't know, like short films, etc. So I was trying to find ways to like shoot a short movie or like publish my short stories. So then one of my close friends told me, there's such a thing called the open mic in Istanbul. We can go and try. So it was like 7 years ago. And that's when I started like doing it because I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know it was a thing in Turkey. It was just growing, starting. So then, yeah, I just started doing it and I liked it a lot.
How was your first go on open mic? Was it a bit scary?
Of course.
Yeah, it's a crazy experience. It's like jumping off a plane because there's a lot of anticipation. You know, you're going there. There's a live audience, and for me, it was so bad. It was very. It was a. I just bombed, and I remember just the last joke working, and thinking, "Oh my god, this is great." You know, like the first 5 minutes were just like pure silence, and I remember being on stage just with a sold out crowd, thinking, why am I on stage? Why did I think I could do this? And then like the last joke really hit, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I can. Yeah, yeah.
I did a stand-up comedy course a few years ago, and so did Oliver. And yeah, we both did shows in Palma. And I deliberately wore a pair of brown trousers for the evening because it was that was one of the jokes. But also, I
Mhm.
thought it was like a good backup plan in case it went wrong. So when did you start to but actually work as a comedian? And also, how did you meet?
Well, as any comic, we met at a show. That's how comics meet normally. We were doing like an open mic in Madrid, like performing at a small show, and yeah, quickly we started working together and producing shows and
Yeah, the scene here is really small. So like there were really a few comedians who are doing this in English. So it's really like everyone knew each other, everyone still knows each other. So it's really a small scene. So everyone is trying to find ways to improve themselves. And one of the best ways for us was to start our own show in the city. Like it's not just us, but uh like we call it a like a showcase, and then bunch of comedians come together, put a show together. It's like a donation based at a bar downstairs. It's like a really small thing. And then it just grew from that, from one show to two shows, three shows together. So we started working together all of a sudden while we were having our corporate jobs.
And which
yeah.
language did you start off in? Have you always done comedy in English, or did you start in Turkish or Spanish?
I mean, for me, it was like, yeah, the timing was a bit weird because I was doing my master's in Madrid, but like I was in Turkey for a summer vacation, and that's when I started doing the comedy for the first time in Turkish, and I had to come back to Madrid. I liked it so much, but like I never saw myself doing it in another language, but I kind of had to. Like I was looking for ways to perform in Madrid because I knew that I was gonna live here for at least a year. So I found one open mic in English, and I prepared myself for 2 months to go up. And yeah, then I started doing it in English.
Yeah, I started in Spanish. I mean, I can just perform here in Spanish is much easier. But I always wanted to perform in English from the beginning. Like from since I started doing comedy, the plan was always to eventually move to English because of like all of the comics that I like. Like I listen to comedy in English, so it makes more sense to me. I think the language also helps a little bit. And it's like a bigger market overall. Like if you want to be a comic, you can perform everywhere. You can perform in Palma, and you can perform in Chile, you can perform in the US, in the UK, in Romania. I mean, everywhere people speak English. So
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that it's I've never understood Spanish humor anyway. Like it seems there's a lot of jokes about mother-in-law still, and a lot of jokes about poo. Not so not as developed as maybe it's just my language level, you know. My vocabulary maybe isn't strong enough. But the definitely I think you've got a bigger British people at least really appreciate humor.
Yeah, we know. We always have a lot of British people at our shows.
Yeah, I bet. Do you? I mean, also it surprises me that you say that the scene in Madrid is small.
Yeah.
Why is
yeah, I
that?
mean, because if you're an English speaking comic, you wouldn't normally move to Madrid. You know,
There's
like it's big in Spanish. The Spanish scene in Madrid is huge. Like there are a bunch of shows every night. It's a big city with a lot of shows, but
I mean, I think for the size, for the population, because Madrid is one of the biggest European capitals, but like when it comes to the English comedy, it's really smaller than any similar city like Berlin, Amsterdam, Barcelona. So it's much smaller.
So the Madrid Comedy Lab is the only English-speaking comedy club in Madrid.
yes.
Yes.
So I mean, how many people can it sit? How many people can you get in there?
75.
75, yeah.
And how many shows a week are you doing?
It depends on the week, but it ranges from like 10 to, from 6 to 10, 11 shows.
Wow. So it is popular, even if it's small.
It's getting there. Yeah. I mean,
It's getting there.
It has been a year and a half. Obviously, like there are a lot of factors. Like not every show is sold out, of course. Like there are open mics, like every show is different. We like to change. Like we like to have a dynamic schedule because like we have a lot of regular audience members. They keep coming to the shows, but like we want to offer them something different as well because we only have a handful of comedians, like 10, 15, 20 comedians. And sometimes we have like comedians visiting from other cities, other countries. Sometimes we have shows in different languages. For example, I think this week we have a show in like Lebanese Arabic. We had shows in Russian. We have like last weekend we had a Turkish trivia night. So we like to do different stuff.
That's very inclusive. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Give me a
mean,
chance.
it's a place where we have a bunch of people that are not from Spain. We don't only get British or Americans. We get a bunch of people that just don't speak Spanish well enough to consume any culture in Spanish. So we have a bunch of French, a bunch of Germans, Italians, some Latinos sometimes. Latinos like comedy in English. Yeah, we have a good mix, and it's nice. We like creating a small community, sense of community. So people get to meet each other. You get to if you're new in town, some people come to make friends, and it's always like a positive environment. You're laughing already, so
It might be a good time now to talk about like how I feel like comedy is really important at the moment in the light of what's going on in Europe, where like so many countries like leaning more and more to the right. So many people like you've got to go back to where you came from kind of discussions, especially in Britain at the moment. There's big moves to make people from the Caribbean who originally were from the Caribbean move back to the Caribbean, even though they were born and bred in the UK. I think comedy is a really great way of just destroying all of those stereotypes and those barriers.
yeah. I mean, comedy is a beautiful thing in the sense that it's universal. Like if it's funny, everyone laughs. It doesn't matter where you're from or what your background is. And that's one of the things that we like about our show is that basically the show is called We're Not From Here. We're not from Spain. We're not from the same country. That like he's from a very different background that I am, and the audience members are all from a very different background. And we all come together and we all laugh and we don't take ourselves very seriously. And at the end of the day, we're all humans just laughing and having a good time.
And also, sorry.
Carry on.
And also I think it's a great way to deal with what is going on. I think it's a really good starting point for a lot of people. I mean, as a performer or as an audience member, just to understand the struggle of the others. Like, for example, when I came here, it was like 7 years ago. I didn't speak the language at all, and that was the first country abroad for me. So like, I didn't know how to deal with some stuff. Well, I mean, I had a really nice time here. Like people are super nice to me, but like even the small things are like, for example, when I say, even though I say I'm from Turkey, people think I'm from Morocco just because of my name, like although I say it. So for me, these are like funny things. But I want to play with those kind of things that people don't know much about, and I think comedy is the best way to do it.
Mhm.
It's a softer way in, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can educate somebody without making them feel stupid.
Yeah, or just like have a joke about it and then like share that moment together.
So when did you feel, both of you, when did you feel that moment when you realized you were outsiders and were probably always going to be outsiders in Spain?
I mean, I personally always felt a bit of an outsider, even though like where I'm from has a lot of similarities in terms of culture because we were a colony. Um, but still, there's a difference. There's a big difference, and there's a the way it's very funny because the way like Spanish people see Latinos, like they see us like as one people, like we're all the same. There's one accent. You're all from the same parts. Like it's either you're a Latino or you're not a Latino. So that always pushed me to feeling like, okay, I'm not from here. They don't really understand where I'm from. So I'm a bit of an outsider in that sense. But I have to say that people in Madrid are very open in general. Like they're very open to people from other parts of the world, especially because even the people from Spain here are not really from here. There's a lot of Spaniards that just moved to Madrid to better opportunities, working. So people have a very open spirits in general.
Yeah, I mean, for me it was really easy in the beginning because I didn't speak the language. Like I first landed here, like I never lived in another country, and I came here and I don't speak any Spanish. So for me, I was like, oh, what is going on here? Like I don't understand. Like I'm walking in the street and then I don't understand what people say at all. Like I didn't speak anything. So it was like, okay, I need to adapt here. I mean, luckily my master's, like it was in English. All of my friends spoke English. It helped me a lot on one hand, but on the other hand, I think it's made it harder for me to learn the culture here faster the first 2 years because I was surrounded by my friends doing the same thing in English. So I could learn the language and the culture better, I think, if it was not for that. And but like I was actually surprised when when people knew about my country and my culture. Like they knew about the politics, they knew about the food and everything. That was like, oh, okay, I'm not that. Like there are some things that are like they know. And also I was focusing more on the similarities, the cultural similarities, even though the culture and the language is different. It is still like, I don't know, the way we enjoy the life in Turkey and in Spain, it's really similar actually. Like just having a beer and a terraza, it's the same thing.
There's definitely similarities then.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
What part of everyday Spanish life do you think took the longest for you to get used to?
Oh, I mean, it's still, I think, still going on. It's
Me too. I've been
Um,
here 20 years.
like people are not punctual here. I think I will never get used to that. Like, it's just like even though we talk, we say like this time, okay, we need to finish this. Like nobody seems to care. It's really weird. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's not just Turkey culture. Like it's just me. Like I find it weird.
But Turkish people are punctual, are they?
I mean, I think better than Spaniards for sure. Like for sure.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like I like not just like like meeting with the friends etc. Like they're more casual, but like even the lawyer is late. I don't understand that. For me, it's a big shock.
We're surrounded by Germans in Mallorca. So
Yeah.
everyone's glad to be late. There's no way. And Swiss Germans as well. So you actually have to be
Yeah.
early.
Ah, okay.
If you're not early, you're late.
yeah.
What about you,
Uh,
Xavi?
Well, for me, it's the pace of everything. Everything moves slow, and people are very chill, and it's nice sometimes, like to take things slow. But I come from a like faster pace. Everything is faster. Like even like for example, like the first like cultural shock for me was like when you were at a restaurant and you were like ordering the to pay, and they just took forever to get their money. Like where I'm from, like they're putting you the bill like immediately.
Hmm.
But it has some pros and cons. Like sometimes you're happy that you have like a lower pace and you're enjoying it, but sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's I wish it went a bit faster.
And I don't know if we have the same terminology in Madrid, but we get called giris here a lot. Is it same? Is the word the same where
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are?
it exists here.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. It's
My
all
daughter
across
grew.
Spain.
Okay, so it's not just a local. Obviously there's a lot of giris in Mallorca, but my daughter grew up here. She's 6 foot tall and blonde, but she was born here and she has a Spanish passport. So when she gets called a giri, it really amuses her because she's more
Yeah.
American than she is British.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's always very it confuses them. We're definitely not from here, but she is from here. That makes sense.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
She doesn't look like she belongs, but she does. So,
Yeah,
carry on.
no, that's what I think is funny about saying like, yeah, we're not from here, or like in general, like what you were talking about, like immigration and stuff. Like once you start moving, you realize that no one is really from any. Like we're all from the same place. Like it doesn't matter if you were born in Spain. It's more about where you feel you're from. Like
Yeah. But I think as well, it's like about the people that wherever you're moving, that the people that you're going to like join the community that you want to live in.
yeah,
You also have to have the same kind of open-mindedness, and if they're being poisoned by some kind of toxic politician, then it becomes much
yeah,
harder for you to enter that community without fear.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I agree. I think in that sense, I mean, personally, like I feel really lucky because if people come to a comedy show in English in Spain, they're really open-minded. So we get to see like, I don't know, like really nice people all the time. So like I feel really like in different cities and also like at the comedy club. So I don't know, like maybe it's Spain. Maybe Spain is better than like some other countries. But like maybe it's just us getting lucky. But like I'm having a nice time.
What kind of comedy do you particularly enjoy personally, guys? Have you got comedians that you follow that you enjoy?
at our club or
No,
in
in
general.
general, like in the world.
Well, I personally like American comedy the most because like it's just closer to home in terms of like we get a bunch of American stuff in Chile. I love comics that do like they're able to improvise a lot. We had one of my favorite comics coming to our club recently, Rory Scovel, and he writes material, of course, but he also like riffs a lot and plays with the crowd. It's very dynamic. I really like the like stream of thought, like being funny, 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 funny.
It takes a lot of confidence to do that, doesn't it? Just to stand on the stage and just like bring it
Just
out.
talk.
Give it to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I
about
think
you?
in Turkey we like we really like the dark stuff. I think like for example, I remember like we had Daniel Sloss. Do you know Daniel Sloss?
No, tell me.
He's from Scotland. Like he's a really young comedian. Uh, like one of the most popular, I think, from Scotland now. He had the like jokes about his family, his sister, like in one of his specials on Netflix, and it was a game changer for a lot of us in Turkey. We didn't even know that you can joke about those topics, and he made it funny, like super dark but funny. So I think a lot of people learn from those kind of experiences because stand-up comedy like in the UK, in the US, it's an art form, established art form, but like in Turkey, we are really still trying to create our own language around it.
I
So
think it's I don't know. We had a stand-up comic come in the summer who's very popular in the UK, John Bishop.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
And his set was really like unusual for him in that he was talking a lot about his own personal experiences about his parents and things that he was like normally he wouldn't tell jokes about, and it was actually billed as being like groundbreaking because of from his point of view, because he was talking about things that he wouldn't normally bring up. It was all about the menopause, rather than the menopause, like the male midlife crisis. I mean, for me, watching comedy like that, that's not new because the comics that I enjoy watching, I'm sure I'll love watching you guys, but the comics that I know about, I already enjoy watching, are the ones who tell the stories that weave in and out, that have callbacks and, will make you feel different things, not just make you laugh, but also make you feel, they'll move you in some way. I really like those ones. I like Mike Birbiglia, for example. I really enjoy him.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I love Michael Birbiglia.
Yeah, yeah. I love him too. Yeah,
Mm.
he's a great one.
He's
Yeah,
a
great
genius.
storyteller.
And I really like Simon Amstel.
Mhm.
Have you
Mhm.
heard of him?
I haven't.
No,
Or is
Okay,
it-
I'll have to hook you up with him. And then James Acaster.
ah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
James. Yeah.
He's that. If you want a duck, he's weird.
Yeah, I love him. He's very silly.
Weird
I love silly comedy.
Yeah, and so those are three, like all men. Unfortunately, haven't got a great girl comic at the moment. Although we did go to see a Japanese. She's Japanese American. Otsako. I can't remember her second name, but she lives in America, and she pulled to Barcelona. And
Ah.
the one with the bowl haircut.
Yeah,
Ah, yeah.
I know who she is.
She
Yeah.
was fantastic. So really good. I have to look up her name. So what kind of comedy can we expect from you two when you arrive on the beautiful shores of Mallorca this weekend?
Well, with Abdullah, we have very different styles, which is nice. So you can expect to see a very dynamic show. Very because we start off the show with some interactions with the crowd. We get to know where people are from. We break the ice that way. It's very fun. And then we do our sets. I do more of a shorter jokes. Abdullah is more of a storyteller.
Why is
But
that funny?
if I had, I mean, because it's funny to like put tags on it. But if I
Yeah,
had,
yeah.
like,
We normally
describe,
don't
like,
think about this stuff. Like we don't define our comedic style. So for us, it doesn't come natural. To
yeah. I mean, but if I had to describe it, like I have like shorter bits and he has longer bits. Observational stuff. We have stories. We have a little bit of everything. We talk a lot about our experience moving here to Spain.
Yeah.
The culture shocks that we find. It's very relatable if you're not from Spain. So, and if you're from Spain, we also get some people from Spain, and they're always like fun to have them at the show. So they're more than welcome to join us and just
Yeah,
have fun.
we can double check with them if there's a cultural shock. Like we can just ask them on the spot. Like, do you agree with this? How do you think?
I think that's really is. It's unusual for people make jokes about it because mostly the things that I've read or experienced, like when people have written about their experiences about moving to a different country, it's not normally funny. It's normally either some
Yeah.
kind of romantic, I found myself moment like Eat, Pray, Love, or it's something where it's like a man's gone and he's retired to France and now he's become a wine expert or something. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a romantic filmic sort of quality,
Yeah,
rather than it
but-
being something that actually you can laugh at yourself.
Yeah, but the thing with the being an immigrant and moving to a new place is like it's hard at the beginning, no matter what. And tragedy plus time is comedy, so it gets funny with the time, you know.
And also, I mean, like I really at the moment I enjoy living here, and I kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to understand their like because coming from the economics background, like I know that this country has been through some stuff. So like I know that, like, for example, in the center there's a big problem, like the rental market is going crazy, like for in every city, but like in Madrid especially, like like people are having a hard time finding a place. Like people from Madrid, they're having a hard time. And then like the Airbnbs, like everything. Like I think it's also important to be aware of those stuff. And also, like if you just make a really like harsh joke about it, probably people would have some distance because they're just experiencing that. So I think it's also kind of important to understand those aspects, and then like having a clear point of view there, because if it's funny, it's going to be funny, but like I think it's important to understand the cultural context and economical situation of the country we live in, I think.
And then a lot of us are experiencing the same problems, especially with somewhere to live, mobilization of people, and people can, because of coronavirus and working remotely and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Life changed beyond measure, didn't it? And so now we're all kind of trying to work out the new life, the new way of being. And we have, for example, a lot of people living in Mallorca who don't work in Mallorca, but they live in Mallorca and they're earning their living somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they have that situation where they're earning maybe London money, but living in Mallorca. So the landlords have pushed the rent up because they can ask for more money because these people can afford more money. Just pushed out all of the regular people who have got, your average salary in Spain. So I mean, I imagine it's the same thing in Madrid.
It's the same.
Yeah. But like for a Turkish person, it's hard to find a place. Like if the only possible scenario is like if they earn a lot of money, so then they can afford like having someone translating everything for them. Like otherwise, like they need to, like they end up paying a lot more than any other person in Madrid for the same, like a similar place, just because they don't speak the language, they don't know the culture, they don't even know the contracts, like the contractual details. So they end up having like being worse off because of that.
They're vulnerable, just like
Yes.
anyone who moves to a new country and not
Yeah.
or doesn't understand, can't stand up. I mean, when I first got here and I couldn't speak enough Spanish to have a car crash, I couldn't speak enough Spanish to go to hospital, I couldn't speak enough Spanish to take my kid to school. So like those sorts of things that you have to have a working knowledge, even if you're not working in that language, you have to be able to
Yeah.
function, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So do you guys still performing in your native languages as well, or are you just solely doing English these days?
I mean, I think for the both, and I personally barely perform in Spanish. It's very rare because we're either touring or we're at our club, so it's difficult to find time to perform. Even though there are shows in Spanish, and we used to have like a show in French like once a month at the club. I used to perform there. That was fun. But
Yeah, I mean, I think we are trying to improve the show now. Like since the focus is this show in English, we are trying to perform in English as much as possible to get better. Like I used to go to other cities in Europe to open for some comedians in Turkish. But like it's also getting harder because I need to practice that as well, and I don't have an open mic here in Madrid in Turkish. But like as I said 2 days ago, I had a trivia night in Turkish that was an unreal experience. Like 55 Turkish people in Madrid, like basically all the Turkish you can find in Madrid.
You'll have to
The whole
tour to
embassy.
Berlin. There's loads of Turkish people living in Berlin, aren't there?
Yes. In Berlin, for example, like if I lived in Berlin, I would do comedy in Turkish for sure.
What when you perform, if you you don't do the same set though, I assume in English and Turkish or English.
No, it's it's almost entirely different, I think, for me.
And it's not because the subject matter is relevant to those people, or is it because the jokes are different? Their humor is different.
Again, for me, both, because the language itself is so different. The way you structure the sentence is different. So you need to rewrite, like, even though you're talking about the same thing. Like, for example, I have a Portuguese girlfriend and I can talk about it in Turkish or in Spanish. I have the same issue. I can translate that. But like, I need to change the entire word, find the.
It's funny that you use the word issue.
I was thinking about the
She's gonna
relationship.
listen to this podcast and she's like, "What is the issue?" No, I mean, it's like the tags, the bits, the funny wording, it has to be rewritten, because it's different.
You agree,
Yeah.
Xavi?
I mean, for me, it's a bit different. Some of my jokes translate. Most of my jokes translate. Also because like I've always wrote the jokes thinking I want them to work in both languages. Like I want them to be funny everywhere. Because the thing is, like, if they're only funny here in Madrid or if they're only funny in Spain, like I cannot do them elsewhere. But it's true that the language conditions a lot in terms of, like, for example, in Spanish, you need more words to convey the same information in general. So the shorter jokes and misdirections work differently. And same with French. Like, for example, the times I perform in French, like it's so much more complex the way you structure the sentence that it really pushes you into telling stories more than short jokes.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, from a writing perspective, when I lay out a story that's in English versus a story that's in Spanish, the Spanish one takes up so much more space, just from a kind of like layout on a page.
Yeah, so much more.
You can see that.
How long does it take you to like develop your set? I mean, I imagine it's constantly evolving. Like, but how long did it take you from deciding to do this to actually like performing it?
It's what you say. It comes very slowly. Like I think with comedy in general, it's not like you just say, okay, I'm just gonna write an hour, and you just write it and just do it. Because I mean, some rare cases, some people do that, but most normally you write with the crowd. Like they give you feedback constantly. So every time you perform, they find this funny. Oh, maybe I should focus more on this idea because they're laughing harder at this, and you edit and you make changes. So you're like really building like a castle with like a sand castle with it, like one grain of sand at a time. Like it's very slow process.
Yeah, because it's really hard to predict how it will sound. Like what you think it was funny, and then you come up with that idea. You go on stage, you say it for the first time, and then even though it works great, like sometimes you just feel weird, like you just feel it's not right, or like you can go to the different direction. But like you can only understand that if you go on stage and try that, and then get that feedback from the audience, or like just from yourself, because we in general we record the audio and we listen to that later to see. And then like these are for the beats, and then those beats become the sets, and then we try to like change the pieces and then put
Describe what you mean by beats for someone who doesn't know.
Xavi, you are the beats guy.
So a bit is basically either it can be either a joke or a longer joke, a story, it's like the unit in terms of jokes. Because I mean, if you say joke, you mean normally like a setup punchline, but a bit can be a story. It can be like when you put a bunch of short jokes together with one theme. It's like, for example, this is my Spain bit. I do everything Spain related. That's how we talk about our the material. Like during your set, you have an amount of bits, and
yeah, we move things around and we try to understand what works better for that set. But like as Xavi said, it's really hard to forget that, but like it's happening there every night. It's live entertainment. So like sometimes I really don't think about it when I go on stage, because it's like an autopilot. Like if I have the sets, I do the jokes, and then I'm like, oh, it used to work better. What doesn't work now? Because I didn't connect that night. That's really an important aspect of stand-up comedy, and I think that's why it's different than the other art forms. It's just happening there.
Do you have to frighten yourselves a little bit before you go on stage then, just to kind of like get in the moment?
That will be useful.
Yeah.
We should do that.
Yeah, but
I used to work in the theatre. I was a stage manager for quite a long time in London, and you do go on autopilot. Actors learn the lines, and then they just blah 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 blah. They just like go through the motions, and then all of a sudden, everyone's going through the motions. But somebody's got to pay attention in case somebody forgets, or that was my job, was to pay attention. So my job was make sure that if somebody forgets what they're doing, I remind them, and they do
Yes.
forget because they just kind of like wander off. Their brains kind of leave the building.
Yeah.
It's the same, like, you know, if you're driving, if you do the same journey every day in a car, you drive from your house to your office. It's going to
Yeah.
be after a while, you'll forget a bit in the middle.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like you forget you drove that bit, even though you were
Yeah, of
driving at
course.
100 kilometers an hour or whatever. You did it, but you don't remember it. It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
And that's a cool thing about touring is that we're performing in different rooms with different people, and every room and the room is so it affects so comedy is so fragile that everything affects the the set.
The experience. Yes.
The
Right.
lighting, the how people are sitting, the
Yeah.
time of day, is so fragile. So when you're touring, you're performing at different times, at different places, in different rooms that you're not used to. It a lot of time is it the first time we step foot into the room, so you need to like get comfortable quick. You need to adjust quick, and also adjust a little bit to the audience. So it's really live. It's a live thing, and it changes every night. And
And
it's all about like
also-
being present with them because you're making people laugh, you know.
And also we are we are self-producing the shows. Like we do the ticketing, the promotions, everything. It also adds another layer because when people come to the shows, the first they see us at the door scanning tickets, and then it's like because that's when the experience kind of starts. We welcome them, and then we find their seats. And but like if there's a problem with the venue, if there is a noise, there's something like we need to like one of us needs to deal with that too, because like things happen. It's like maybe the light is off, the power is cut, like things happen, and then we need to deal with those things as well. It's fun, but also like it makes us more aware of the situation every night.
Well, every small theatre company starts off somewhere, right? Village halls, prisons. I used to work in all sorts of ones before I ended up working in big companies. So yeah, it's like you do become a master of everything, and they have to be able to fix everything
Yeah.
quickly. But also,
Yeah.
you're gonna like you won't let it turn off. So I saw that your show is sold out on Sunday, and you've added another show.
Yes, we're very happy about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's great. That's always great to know that there is enough like people interested, so that we sold out the show like days in advance.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So we added an early show, and we're expecting that one to sold out too. So if there are still tickets when this comes out, please get them quick.
Yeah, sorry I get them. I think there's actually more of an appetite for stand-up comedy in Mallorca in the winter than you'd expect. The big names, like John Bishop, he sold pretty well in the end, but right up until the day before the show, there was still quite a lot of tickets available.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it's because people were a bit like it was in the wrong period of time, because like
Mhm.
Mallorca is seasonal. So now a lot of places are shut. People are ready for a party. You know, like the people that live and work here. You've got the yachting community. You've got the people that work in the restaurant, hospitality, trade. All of those people. A lot of them are now on their winter break,
Oh yeah.
and they'll also have a pocket full of money because they've just worked through the season.
Mhm.
So November is a great time to bring comedy to Mallorca.
Ah, good to know. We
Yeah,
didn't.
really.
Yeah.
And there's another comic coming at the end of the month who's playing in the Sala Mozart in Auditorium, which is a bit bigger than Montego Bay. Sergi Polo.
Ah,
Yeah.
we are
Yeah,
gonna have him at
cool.
our club next year.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
spelling. I like him too. But I think like the more that more people get used to comedy coming to Mallorca, the more you'll get people going.
Yeah.
Have you got plans to come back?
I mean, we always try to go back to the places, especially if we sell out 2 shows, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, if we have a nice experience, the most difficult thing about touring in general is just finding the venues, because there's no like big infrastructure. for comedy in Europe in general. Like there are a few clubs, like comedy clubs per se. And so when you're self-producing the shows, it's really hard. Like we're really just like calling like, hey, can we have a show at your bar or at your concert venue or at your theater? So it all comes down to that, like finding a good venue that it makes sense for us, and then like seeing that
Also,
people are interested.
if you're not like if you're not working with a like a big promoter or something in Europe, it's really hard to hire these like theaters because they're really expensive. And also like without knowing if we could sell any tickets, like we don't wanna hire a big theater. So we
Yeah.
first that's why it's like it's about like I think Montego Bay, what is the capacity? It's like 50-55.
15.
Yeah,
not
that's
a-
perfect for
It's
us.
15.
Not a big place, but it's okay. There should be a good atmosphere in there.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like 50, like anything from 50 to 100 for us, it's the perfect size. And so yeah, like if you find a place, for example, after Mallorca, I think we're gonna go to France, right?
Yes.
So, yeah,
France, the first room that we're gonna do is 100 seats.
Cool.
yeah.
Okay, guys. So I guess I'll see you on Sunday.
See you on Sunday. We are very excited. We really want to go have a good time, and we invite people like from all over the world. Like if you're not from Spain, please come to the show. And if you're from Spain, you can also come. We're gonna have fun, and it's a very nice environment, very welcoming. People get to know each other. It's a good time.
So let's hope they're funny.
Yeah.
And
well,
also,
you know,
like if they've been, I'm sure they'll come back because like 2 sold out shows in a day.
that's worth the
It's
airfare,
not
isn't it?
bad,
Come
is
on.
it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And hopefully it starts a bit of a scene. As you heard in the interview, they have an English comedy club in Madrid.
Yeah, the only one.
The only one. And it'd be nice if they
And
could
we've been
have-
invited to go there
we
as
have
well.
to go. I've only been to Madrid sort of once.
Sort of once.
Well, I went sort of twice. And
What?
the other time I just sort of was in the suburbs, so it doesn't really count. So went to where they're having the Grand Prix next year, which is near the airport. So you get the airport into an industrial estate and go home again. So that didn't really count.
But the idea of stand-up comedy in English has kind of inspired us a little bit, hasn't it? We were talking the other day about what could we do to encourage that, because I think it's really great to have live performance like that. And it's actually the kind of a really pure art form.
Oh, I love
isn't
it. It would be great if it would sort of pop onto the radars of people, because actually a lot of stand-up comedians, it's not like they're a van full of musical instruments and roadies. It's sort of them and a rucksack. So
Yeah.
actually, for instance, if you've got a sort of ready-made audience, a stand-up comedian from the UK could probably make it worth a while, or at least have a sort of weekend in Palm.
Well, a well-known
and
stand-up,
pay for their ticket, really.
a well-known stand-up like John Bishop, for example, even he didn't sell. I don't think he sold as well as he thought he was going to because of the time of year that he gets here. So like there's definitely like a peak season when you've got English speaking people who are ready for a night of stand-up comedy, and it turns out it's not sort of May/June,
Well, John
because a lot of
Bishop is-
people are already working then.
John Bishop's quite a big name, isn't he? A big Saturday night kind of guy
Yeah.
on British telly. He deliberately chose out of season because he wanted to talk to locals rather than holidaymakers.
No,
didn't
no,
he?
no, no,
But,
no, 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 no,
that's what he
no.
said.
No, he didn't though. He chose badly because he chose the time when people are already working.
Yeah. But he chose to come in the winter rather than in the summer.
I
because
don't
he didn't
classify
want-
May as winter.
Well, that's
Do
what
you?
he said. No, that's what he said at the start of his set. Is I wanted to choose this time rather than the middle of the summer holidays because I want to talk to locals. He has a house here, rather than
Yeah.
get loads of drunk holidaymakers. Is what he said anyway. Whether it was true or not, I don't know. Anyway,
But I don't think the holidaymakers would necessarily choose to go to a comedy show, even if somebody famous that they knew of, on their week away that they've spent all year saving up to go on.
well, I don't know. Probably
I
not
don't
in
think they
Parma.
would.
But they used to go and watch bands, didn't they? When bands played in Magaluf. So if you had a
that's
comedian playing
different.
in Magaluf, is it?
They're where they're on holiday.
Yeah, no. If you could get a comedy venue in a sort of British heavy area like the Calvia Coast, and you came and you played a decent sized auditorium in the summer, I think you'd probably do all right. I don't know.
Can you imagine though the heckling you'd get as a comedian?
That's part of the job, isn't it?
I know, but it would be heavy. I don't know. Anyway, but the thing that I'm really interested to do is something like a storytelling night. I think that would be really cool. There's an organisation called The Moth who do these beautiful storytelling events. And it's not necessarily comedy. It can be a bit more kind of emotional than comedy. More kind of like it has a range of stuff rather than just funny. And I think it's quite a interesting concept. I'd like to try and do one.
Well, I'm sure you're the right person to do it.
I probably am. It's just pop it in the diary, Vicky, and knock that out next week.
When you've got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I was saying at the start of this about bonfire night.
Oh yeah. What about it?
We don't have it anymore.
We do. We had it. It was actually yesterday or on Friday.
Where?
Christach. They did one without fireworks
That
in aid of Alan Graham charity.
Whereabouts in the school up there?
It's not in this. I don't think it was in the school. I think it was in a church backyard.
Back in the day, the Mallorca, the MCC, the Mallorca Cricket Club, used to be the highlight of the season down here.
It was good.
It was that would be their main fundraiser. They had a cricket pitch at the back of Magaluf, which they were kicked out of because they were going to develop it, and I'm not sure they've done it. Is that where Lidl's is now?
Yeah, that's exactly
Something
where
like that.
Lidl's is now, I think. And what a disaster! Well, not a disaster, but it's a bit a shame that, a community organisation that was actually doing something locally for local people has got moved and then didn't get rehomed.
No, it didn't. No, it was quite an institution, wasn't it? The cricket club. I don't play it or understand cricket, but it's a nice place to go.
Yeah, it was lovely.
So,
it was a nice place to be.
Yeah.
I remember the bar.
Wendy's toffee apples.
And Wendy's toffee apples, yes. And Wendy, she was the scorer.
She was, yes.
Yeah, Anyway, Calvia seems to be thinking it's doing something good for its tourism. It's been at the World Travel Market. Everyone's been there for their jollies. And I was just looking at this thing you sent me. It's a bulletin story about Calvia being in a documentary. And
it's sort of self-promo, isn't it? But the fact Calvia is absolutely pushing the sort of reinvention of itself, isn't it? It's
yeah, well, it has to.
Yeah, look, everything needs reinventing, doesn't it? And as you mentioned, the mayor of Calvia is probably, I was going to say, is it the most important bit of Mallorca for tourism? Maybe not. Maybe Yuc-Mayor's got more resorts in it. It's huge.
What about Alcudia, Oliver?
Could be, but like
Yuc-Mayor
is I think the second largest municipality on the island. It's got
Arenal
and all of Playa de Palma and goes on and on and on. So, but yeah, Calvia is definitely an important chunk of tourism business here, and the image of it, particularly the image of Magaluf, is something they've been keen to reinvent for quite a few years with varying different degrees of success. They tried calling it Calvia Beach for a bit, but now the push seems to be on Magaluf for all. Last winter,
I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it.
Well, we'll see if it works out. Last winter, they landscaped the beach, for the want of a better word. It used to be a very nice promenade onto a sandy beach and a beautiful stretch of clear water. It's a really nice beach, Magaluf. But last year they planted palm trees at the top of the beach and they put sand dunes in and started planting. I'm not sure it's going to work. We'll see.
I'm not certain
I like the idea of it, but.
I just don't understand where Calvia for all lies with replanting sand dunes. Does it mean for all species?
I don't think so. There's mostly only one species in Magaluf.
Yeah, but here, look, this thing on this story that you sent me about the documentary. It says, hang on, I'm scrolling. This production, which focuses on coastal sustainability and marine protection, closes its first season with an episode dedicated to the municipality of Calvia. The video features testimonials from Elisa Montserrat, who's the Deputy Mayor for Tourism, who talks about the Octopus Sanctuary Project. What Octopus Sanctuary Project? You know anything about an octopus sanctuary project?
No, this is the first I've heard of an octopus.
No, I've never ever heard
in
about
Calvia,
that before.
presumably.
I mean, presumably, why don't we already know about these things? I think they're inventing them to
Perhaps
make
they've
them
only just
look.
thought about it.
Yes, it's kind of where I'm going. Architect Jose Luis Mostiero explains the transformation of the Paseo Maritimo seafront. Do they mean Magaluf or do they mean Palma?
No, they mean Magaluf.
Okay, and elements such as the new dunes that are now part of the Magaluf seafront landscape. And Aniol Esteban, director of the Maries Foundation, talks about the island of Saporasa. The episode covers various initiatives promoted by Calvia Town Council.
So it's basically a sort of puff piece for Calvia Council and its various initiatives, which are not a bad thing.
Very much so.
Where can we find it, though? It says it's on Apple TV and a few others.
It's in Spanish, obviously, because it's called Ecos del Mar. It's premiering on Sun Channel, which is the leading Spanish-language tourism channel broadcast through Latin America and the States. So if any of our American friends are listening and want to check it out, would love to know what you think of it. In addition, the series is going to be distributed through various other channels, mostly television, like mobile TV companies, and I think it's also going to go onto Amazon Prime Spain.
If we figure out a way of finding it in a way that we can share it, we'll put it on the Facebook group.
I just don't know. I mean, is sustainability and eco-tourism really ever going to land hard in Calvia?
It's wrapping up an already established product, isn't it? I mean, I don't know that anyone is going to
How hard are they going to have to pivot, though? Come on, have you seen Magaluf?
Yeah, no, exactly, that's what I mean. I don't think anyone is going to go, where should we go this year? Trekking through Borneo or Magaluf? They're different crowds, aren't they? But, softening it around the edges with green stuff and nature reserves and things. I think obviously it's not a bad thing to have a light touch on your environment. But yeah, it is still basically a giant concrete resort next to a beach.
I just feel it's greenwashing.
Well, yeah, could be.
I've never heard of the Octopus Sanctuary before.
No.
I want to go.
Yes.
So,
me too, actually.
Yes, I want to see it, and I'd love to see where they've put it. If it's next door to a seafood restaurant, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That doesn't worry me so much.
It would worry me. Ugh.
The bit that worries me is when you see a restaurant serving boccheronis next to a fish bar, where you put your feet in a fish tank.
Oh.
There are a few of those around too. They're the same fish.
They're not.
They look about the same
No,
size.
they're not. Oliver.
I don't know. Just wondering when when the fish have had enough, sell them next door.
Aye, you're nasty. Okay, what's next on the list?
Well, this is a new initiative from bits of the local politics about trying to reduce the amount of second homes owned by foreigners here. As we mentioned many times in this podcast, and you'll probably already be aware, there is a bit of a housing crisis here where locals are getting priced out of the market, principally by wealthy foreigners coming and pushing up prices, either having second holiday homes or bringing working remotely from places where they get paid a lot more money than they would get paid here. And there's quite a lot of hoo-ha about what to do about it. Things like cancelling Airbnb licenses, which is complicated, certainly not in issuing any new ones. But there is a political party here called MES, which is a real Mallorquin party, and they are almost always important as forming part of the coalition in the local government here. They were talking about effectively a moratorium, a temporary restriction on the sale of homes to non-residents, legal entities, and for second homes. The idea is to sort of put a pause on it, see if it has an effect. The far-right party, Vox, which is the other end of the political spectrum to MES, but Vox is the kind of right-wing party, trying to, a bit like, I don't know, you don't want to compare too many things, but, things like
reform.
a bit like that, maybe like Marine Le Pen in France, that kind of thing, Giorgia Meloni in Italy, and all the rest of them has jumped on that call as well. So it's coming from left and right, which I guess makes sense. It still affects both people.
Well, they're just heading for votes. They know it's important.
Well, look, there's nothing.
That's a vote.
There's nothing wrong with heading for votes if you want to get in, because it means
as long as you just follow through on your promise.
Well, if people vote you in based on the things that you say you're going to do for them, then you probably deserve to be in somewhere. As long as you say, as long as you get to deliver the promises you've made. But
So what's their kind of strategy?
Well, it's really to explore whether they're allowed to limit second home purchases. Denmark has some.
Yeah, I was going to say Denmark's got an interesting.
Because a lot of EU, whenever this has been mentioned in the past, saying, right, we're going to stop people from buying second homes, it's a problem, particularly trying to restrict EU citizens, because part of the founding principles of the EU is the freedom of movement. So you can't restrict people from doing it. But Denmark does seem to have a system where they have a restriction on, like, if you have to be resident for so many years before you can buy anything there. And I think there's lots of places in Europe that have suffering similar pressures are actually investigating the Danish model and see A, whether they are allowed to do it, and B, whether it's actually a good thing to do as well. They're also talking about things like increasing property tax on foreign home purchases. So effectively, if you want to have yourself a second home in Mallorca, then by all means, but you'll pay a lot more tax. And I guess the intention is then to take that tax and reinvest it into social housing for locals.
Do you want to know about Denmark?
Go on then.
Denmark places unusually strict limits on property purchases by people who are not considered to be genuinely connected to the country. These rules date from the post-war period and were later confirmed when Denmark joined the EU in 1973. The idea is to prevent holiday home overbuying and to maintain housing availability for Danish residents. It's pretty far-sighted of them to see it coming that far away. Here's how it works. You generally must be a resident of Denmark to buy a property. As a basic rule, you must either have lived legally in Denmark for at least 5 years or already be permanently resident in Denmark at the time of purchase. This applies to both houses and flats. If you do not meet these criteria, you have to get special permission. And you have to prove a genuine long-term connection to Denmark, such as working in Denmark, family ties, or owning a business. Desire to own holiday home is not considered a valid reason. Coastal and holiday home areas are especially protected, and Denmark has a specific rule preventing non-residents, including Danes, who no longer live in the country, from buying houses in designated summer house zones. This is to protect Danish families' access to seaside and countryside holiday cottages. EU and EEA citizens are not automatically exempt. Even if you are an EU citizen, you still must meet the residency rule or seek permission. This is unlike most other EU countries where the market is currently open.
Right, well, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, if there is a route there, it wouldn't surprise me if they were starting to go down that route.
Well, Denmark's key reasons for this policy are to avoid wealthy foreign buyers driving up the prices, loss of traditional Danish holiday home culture, empty home areas in rural coastal regions. And,
well, that's exactly what people are after here, isn't it?
It's considered a social and cultural protection measure rather than a purely economic rule. And I think that's a good thing. Well done, Denmark.
Yeah.
I mean, Denmark seems to be a nice place to live.
It's always ahead of the happiness indexes, isn't it? Happy people.
Danish people that I've met over my life live mostly here, actually. I've met a lot of Scandinavian people in Mallorca. They've all been lovely.
And I'm sure I've got some Danish heritage somewhere. I've got
You
Danish surname, anyway.
Do you?
Nielsen.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Something certainly Scandinavian.
Oh, maybe that's why I like
Some bloodthirsty Viking came over at some point. I'm hoping. Not some, Danish photocopying salesman. Someone with a horned helmet on a wooden boat, please. Meanwhile, I've got a list of the richest people in Spain.
Why?
That's been published this week.
Oh, God.
I was seeing if there was any locals here.
Are there?
There's one.
Ooh, who?
Top of the shop, Amancio Ortega. He's the head of Inditex, which is Zara,
and H&M.
Basically everything else on the Spanish high street, more or less. Almost all of the brands, not almost all of them, a large chunk of the different brands of clothing are actually owned by the same company. So you think you're shopping in different places, you're not. Amancio has his wealth has gone down by 10.3 billion this year.
Gosh, really?
So he's going to have to get by on 109 billion.
Why's it gone?
Well, he's sold fewer underpants or something.
Oh, really? So there's crashes. The financial difficulties are not just affecting
it's only 10%.
regular people.
You know what I mean? He's only 10% down. He's still got 100.
10% down's a lot, though.
He's still got 100 billion to live with. Meanwhile, second on the Spanish risk list is Sandra Ortega. I think it's his daughter, who's also doing all right.
She's done okay.
She's got 10 billion. Got a little way to catch up with the old man. Third place, Rafael de Pino Calvo Sotelo. He's head of Ferrovial, which is the company that builds motorways and airports and stuff. Number 4, Joan Roj, who is from Valencia. He owns Mercadona.
We like Mercadona.
We own 7.9 billion. So
They can stay. He can stay.
We're contributing quite a lot to Joanne's back pocket ourselves, really.
Yeah, big time.
Number 5, Juan Carlos Escotet, who is a banker, as it says here. Who else have we got? Number 6, Thomas Olivio, the general of the shopping centres.
Should have put.
Hortensia Herrero is the head of Mercadona Distribution. She's got 4 billion.
So shopping, basically. Shopping and motorways.
Meanwhile, we have to keep going down.
Banks.
Mrs. Ferrovial is there on 4.2 billion. And number 9, we've got a Mallorquin.
Oh.
Yeah, Miguel.
Hotels.
Yeah, Miguel Flucher
Yes.
Rosselló.
I knew it.
They own the Iberostar
Iberostar.
hotel group, and
Not bad.
I think they owned Camper shoes, lots of other things.
Did they?
They're from Inca.
Oh,
the family's
okay.
from Inca, which is where Camper's based. So so that's the only Mallorquin we've got on there. And number 10, Mr. Flucher Rosselló is richer than Florentino Perez, who owned Real Madrid, which must be.
A Flucher?
No, he's not Flucher.
I thought
No,
you said it was a
Florentino Perez,
Flucher.
who used to live in Port Andratx.
Yeah.
Oh, had a house in Port Andratx anyway. He's got a meagre 3.1 billion.
Wow.
Michael Schumacher bought his house.
Okay, that's insider information.
Now, yeah. Well, everyone knows where Michael Schumacher lives anyway.
Yeah.
So, that's
I hope
the top
he's
10
feeling a
Spaniards.
little bit better.
Of course, there are quite a lot more rich people in Spain that aren't on the list, but they're not Spaniards who spend quite a chunk of their time here. Usually
enough.
parking their boats near portals.
Dumping their Mercedes or Ferrari or something outside the ice cream shop on, popping the invisibility lights on.
I know, exactly. So, anyway. There we are, look. So, I think is that it for now?
That is for us for now. But I've got to say a little bit of a sorry to the listener, because you know what, we haven't been as consistent as we need to be.
We have been a bit busy. Well, who are we publishing next? We've got a few interviews lined up for you that
I've
we've
done a
already
few.
conducted that we are going to
Yeah.
release. So we've got on Monday. We normally try and release
An insider.
Insider.
But today we're going to release the comedians.
Yes.
Then we have an insider. We'll do Jan Edwards.
Yes.
She's talking about food and drink and hospitality in Mallorca.
We've got loads of people lined up.
Yeah, and then then I'm going to release Rafa, Rafa
Yes.
Winkelmann, who was with Foundation Hannisport. What?
You interviewed a playwright not long ago.
Yeah, I did.
We need to release.
Regan
No, the American lady.
and Arizona.
Yes, Arizona, of course.
Sorry, yes, and we got Arizona and a few other people. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of interviews to come.
Stay tuned.
We just kind of, I don't know, it's just us, just doing our best.
Hustling on a Sunday in an industrial estate.
Always hustling, but we're hoping to be able to tell you more about our website soon. It is almost complete.
With that close.
And thank goodness. And then hopefully things will get a bit more serious in the land of Mallorca, because it's really a big passion of ours that we love talking about this island so much.
We do, and we know lots of people like talking about it too. So please subscribe to the podcast wherever you found it. If you haven't done already, you can find it in Spotify and iTunes and all the regular places.
All
really.
those places.
So please subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next one that comes out.
Yeah. And you know what? The other thing I think we should probably, like all the fancy podcasts would video themselves now.
Yes.
Or maybe we should do that.
We have great faces for radio.
I know. But like everybody does video podcasts.
But isn't a
now.
video podcast just a telly programme?
Kinda, but
Right. Okay, look.
do you think we should do it? Tell us what you think. Do you think we should make a video version? Should we properly actually video ourselves? Because
I'll have to get a clean T-shirt. And
I
brush my
know,
hair.
I'd have to put makeup on a regular basis. I'm not certain I can do it. I've actually learned how to put my makeup on in the car whilst driving.
Right.
No, I don't think...
It's just like a driving lesson. They did that
No,
on,
but
right.
I mean, it's like a special points situation if you
Already
get
quite
caught.
Sadly got told off by the police the other day for being on the
Yes.
phone and having a loose dog in the car.
I did.
So try not to drive around doing makeup as
Yeah,
well.
mascara. Anyway, my point being that do you think we should make a video version? But bear in mind that it's a lot of extra work, isn't
Let's
it?
not do that.
To edit.
Yes.
And can we do it? And how would we do it? And should we do it? I would love to know if you've got any thoughts, lovely listener. If you've listened this far, let me tell me.
Everything you need to know to get in touch was below in the show notes wherever you found your podcast here, so that you can sign up to our social media stuff, sign up to a newsletter, send us an email, all that stuff. So if you wish to do that, that would be great.
Thank you.
That's plenty now, isn't it? All right, we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be
Coming out quickly.
coming out quickly.
Very shortly, because we've got to get this one out today.
Who was it?
Jan Oliver.
Jan, there we go. Jan's next up.
It's like a goldfish.
See you soon. Hey, thanks for listening. Listen, we need your help. If you don't mind, would you please subscribe wherever you got this podcast? You can find it in most places, Spotify, iTunes, all the rest of them. Just click subscribe, and if you get a chance to leave us a review and you'd like to leave us a good one, we won't stand in your way. And something for you. If you'd like to get our monthly newsletter, then visit our website. That's Mallorca-Mallorca.es. That's Mallorca with a J, -Mallorca-double-L.es. And follow the link there. And if you'd like to ask us a question, send us a DM to our Facebook or Instagram channels. And wherever you get your podcasts, if you see the show notes, you'll see the links for everything you need. Thanks for listening. See you next time.